discussing a very, very critical detail that have just been released. Okay? And apart from this detail, we are hearing some other things, and we need to analyze these things. The possibility of Israel having a breakthrough at this point, because a lot of people are saying that Israel is about to have a critical or significant breakthrough at this point in this conflict. Are we looking at are we looking at a critical breakthrough, or are we looking at a very dangerous situation lying ahead? Apart from the fact that the global economy is already suffering, okay? Let's look at what we have today. So there is an information that have been given by Brit News, which is a very credible mainstream source. They said Israel informs the United States that it's running low on interceptors. Okay. Now we have another information. I'm just going to share this on the side. Israel's prime minister was notably absent from today's security briefing, a session he has always personally led. Defense Minister Israel Katz ran it instead. Meanwhile, his son, yeah, owns a 30 to 80 post per second propagandist has gone completely silent for 6 straight days. Some speculate Netanyahu may have been injured or killed on in the March 9 strike. There are two possible explanations. They are either hiding from Iranian retaliation or something more serious has happened. Now I'm going to consider this a propaganda. Okay, there is this whole conversation that is flying around about the safety of Netanyahu. I don't really want to jump on it because I think it's a rumor until confirmed. Okay, if it's not confirmed, right, and it's very, very difficult to get any confirmed information from Israel right now, but we will know as time goes on. We are going to find out. Okay, thank you, sir. Everybody, thank you for coming. We have a lot to talk about today. Okay, so Israel has now informed the United States that it's running critically low on interceptors. And Israel will now be depending on the United States to send interceptors to Tel Aviv, okay? So that they can continue to defend their skies as the war with Iran rages on. Now, we now have another information. Let's start analyzing this gradually and critically. The United Kingdom Prime Minister Keir Starmer considers sending thousands of interceptor drones to the Middle East. Why do they need interceptor drones? Why do they need thousands? Okay. Is something wrong with my microphone? I don't think so. Now we have another information. Okay. Israeli media reports that about 50 operations by Hezbollah has been carried out today, and the day is not even over yet. 50. According to information, they said this is the largest number since the beginning of the previous and current conflict. 50. Now, Zelensky is talking, and we need to listen to Volodymyr Zelensky. And we need to find out what Volodymyr Zelensky is saying right now. It sounds terrible. Are you serious? My check. Okay, hold on, hold on. How about now? How about now? How about now? How about now? Just give me a confirmation and I will see if I have to do something right now. How about now? Because we will soon enter a critical phase of this conversation. So I want to get the public opinion on the situation of the mic right now. How about now? There is no response on the screen, so I don't know. But anyway, I just want to. You can hear me. You can hear me. Okay, better. Okay, okay. So now, echoing by design. It's okay now. All right, thank you. By design is a very funny person. So now let's uh let's get into this conversation, okay? By design is very, very funny. Thank you for coming, Rosie Angel. So let's talk. So Israel is running low on the R3 interceptor. And according to the information that we are hearing, the David Sling interceptors are coming critically low. So now what do we know? Israel is not responsible for the production of some of their critical interceptors. I mean, the best interceptors that they have is produced by the United States and transported to Israel. The Patriots, the THAAD, these are being produced by the United States. And we have a very, very funny situation right now because the production capacity, the production capacity and capability of the United States cannot withstand the intensity of this conflict. If the United States is fighting a country that orders these capabilities, then they can win. But you are fighting the Iranians that produce their capabilities indigenously, then this is a dangerous situation. And how bad is this situation going to get? I just want to educate everyone a little bit. I know some people they have good knowledge about this situation and how terrible it can be. Before we get to this point, you must have been hearing people saying the United States cannot fight a protracted war. And there is a reason why people have been saying that the US cannot fight a long war. It is not because, okay, thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much. It is not because the United States do not have that dog to fight. They have it. But the problem right now is the production capability of the United States. Now, it is not the fact that the US cannot, it's not like they have a very terrible production capability, but there are some key elements that are very important to sustain the United States. And your mic is low. I don't know, man. We know that the United States is not so good when it comes to guerrilla warfare. But this is not even about the guerrilla warfare. This is about something that I've not seen anyone talk about. Okay? Thank you very much by design. Okay? Now, the only way that the United States will be able to continue this war is for the United States to be able to get the critical minerals they need to sustain a protracted conflict. Okay? The United States needs not just critical minerals, there are several of them, so that you can produce these high precision capabilities. They need six critical ones. Now, they need several, but that several will not be enough. But they need six critical ones. And unfortunately, those critical rare earth minerals that they need, the US have zero monopoly over these capabilities. Because those rare earth minerals, you have 70% of the concentration of that rare earth is available in China. 70%. The United States has 12%. Myanmar has 7.79%, and Australia has 3%. Anything after this percentage I've just given you is zero. Everybody is just it's not significant. But we're talking about China, 70%. Now, we have to understand something. The US has 12%. But why are we still saying that the US does not have the necessary capability to develop, interceptors as, let's say, an industrial capacity? is because the US have been over dependent on China to refine. Yes, the US have not been investing in refining of this rare earth mineral. Now, because the Chinese have been refining the rare earth mineral for a long time, they have been able to create a Belt and Road Initiative that allows a lot of countries that have these natural resources to process it in the United States. Are you aware that when the United States mine from these 12% rare earth materials that they have, they send it to China for refining? Yes, that's what they do. And China sends back the refined materials. So the chokehold here now is no longer just the Strait of Hormuz. China is another one. This war is going to give birth to the rise of the multipolar world. Now, we're just talking about the natural resources now. Let's go to the refining capacity. China refines 99% of rare earth minerals. China refines 99%. The second country that carries the refining capability, okay, is Malaysia. Malaysia. The third country, you have Vietnam and you have Brazil. Low capacity, not really significant. Australia mines and they refine several in Malaysia. Malaysia just refined about 2%. 2%. But China refines about, they said from between 98 and 99%. So let's just say, if you want to compete at the highest level, you need to have China very close to you. You can't have them in your bag. You need China to be close to you. So this is a chokehold on the United States. If you love fighting war, you have to invest in some critical components of your production. Now, this problem is, how is the United States going to convince China to sell or to help them refine rare earth minerals at this point in time? Remember, the US once tariffed China, and China had to stop the US by blocking, the export of refined rare earth materials. Now, to produce your radar system, your THAAD radars, your terminal altitude defense interceptors, your Patriot batteries, for you to produce this AG system, for you to produce this what is this there is this other capabilities, right? Whatever capability that the United States produce when it comes to high precision targeting, sensor, we're talking about capabilities that help you assess frequency of incoming projectiles. Clearly, you need neodymium, you need samarium, you need gallium, you need yttrium, you need dysprosium, and you need gadolinium. You only process these particular metals. You use them to make high performing magnets. You need them. These things are refined exclusively in China. So, if the US had reserves interceptors, I can tell you all those interceptors have been given to Israel. See, by planning, the US believed this war will be completely over. We have problems. If you support the United States, please, we have a serious problem right now. And the problem is, by plan, by strategy, the United States believed that this was going to be a blitzkrieg. And before this war started, I told my friend, I said, I am praying that if the United States start this decapitation assault, Iran should not have that opportunity to launch a second strike, a counter assault. They should look. There are some opponents. When you hit them, we know you have bricks in those hands, but pray that when you hit them, they go away. They go complete, you knock them out complete. Because I said, if Iran can withstand the first few punches, then it's going to be a long night for the United States. And that is what we have right now. See, there is a difference in the planning. You don't plan for a short assault, and when you get into the conflict, you realize that you are in a different dance, and you now have to remodify your plan, your data. You now have to adapt to a long, protracted conflict. You will break because mentally, strategically, you did not plan for it. And when you talk about planning, we are talking about your stockpiles, economy, politics, right? It's a lot to plan for a long conflict. You can see that there is an enormous level of political pressure right now that Donald Trump needs to stop this war. They are not saying it in the media. They are not telling you this, but I can tell you there is an enormous level of pressure. And this arrogance started a long time ago. You see, the moment China shot the US, when the tariff crusade was going on, the moment they discovered that, oh, so China can do this, the embarrassment it's created for Donald Trump was the beginning of this war. This old Marco Rubio speech in Munich, where they said they must go on their colonial campaign once more. But you see, when that arrogance concentrates, when it marinates properly, you go on this campaign, but while going on the campaign, you have to pray that you don't run into an Iran. And here is Iran. Do you know, have you played this strategy game before? Do you know how crazy it is when multiple so-called military power are battling a single country, a single state, and that state is, serving everybody with different milligrams? Take your 1,000, take 2,000 milligrams. Oh, you are too sick, take 4,000 milligrams, right? Bahrain have been overloaded. Right now, Bahrain is suffering from drug overload. They've made sure that Bahrain is no longer breathing when it comes to military, production capability. The US bases in Bahrain, they've destroyed the CENTCOM forward base in Bahrain, and other states have been paralyzed. Now we are getting reports that the strike on the Kurd Island yesterday was launched from the UAE. They were shocked that Iran has information about all these things. Abbas Araghchi is now speaking as if he has military experience. I was shocked when I was listening to Abbas Araghchi today. Abbas Araghchi is a different human being entirely. But that is not even the story right now. The story is, will US be able to give Israel the necessary stockpile to continue this war of land grabbing? This is not greater Israel. This is land grab. This is 18th century agenda coming to play out right now. And it must be solved because this is 2026. In 2026. So now, Turkey have now released a statement. They said they will not be provoked. Turkey has now said that they will not be provoked to join in a regional war, because Turkey understands that they are trying to drag them. The West is trying to drag them into this conflict. And Turkey, knowing that after Lebanon and Iran, Turkey should be the next. They know. Pakistan knows. So everybody is falling back a little bit. Iraq is gradually coming full-fledged into the conflict. The reason why the US cannot quit at this point is because of public opinion. What will history say? How will history, how will history, how will history document this period? Because this is a major war that history will never forget. So history will say that Iran battered the United States under the command of the loudest president the world has ever seen. So Iran battered you to the point that you ran away. And now look at the conditions of Iran. See, you can't duck this smoke at this point. Iran is saying the United States military base should not appear in the Persian Gulf at all. And they are saying that the United States must pay reparation in full for all the damages they've caused. This only means that this war will be fought to a conclusive end. And getting this war to a conclusive end means that at some point in this war, China will have to dictate to the United States the terms that will ensure that the United States can still continue this conflict. A lot of people are not understanding this. So when people said at first that the United States cannot fight a protracted war, it's not about the dog, it's not about the guerrilla warfare, it's not about the lack of strategy. We all know that the United States don't have a good strategy anymore. It's the fact that a long war, if you want to fight a long war, do you have the industrial manufacturing capacity to maintain an high intensity war? Because this is high intensity. This is even beyond normal. You don't have somebody firing, let's say, about 1,000 projectiles at you. I want you to calculate 1,000 offensive capability to your territory. And for some, you have to shoot more than 3. Sometimes you shoot 2 interceptors to, stop some incoming, right? So this is a critical problem. If you want to go on this level, you can see that Israel, they are now trying to enter Lebanon. They are now thinking about launching a ground invasion in Lebanon. But Hezbollah Radwan forces are crushing. Let me give you the direct term. Crushing those IDF soldiers. Crushing. Now, let me reveal another game right now that a lot of people are not fully aware of. You see this conversation about boots on the ground. It is not because America believes that they need boots on the ground to cause a regime change. Mentally, the United States believes that they can bomb Iran to submission. But looking at the structure of the Iranian regime, they've seen that this cannot be possible. For you to maintain command of Iranian control cell, for you to maintain control of the Iranian command centers, you have to put your boots on the ground. And putting your boots on the ground means that the war will end very quickly. Now, listen again. A lot of think tanks are telling the United States, command control personnel that you cannot sustain this war by you can't put boots on the ground. That will be suicide. But let me just give you the game. They will put boots on the ground. For you to be a good boxer, a good fighter, or a war planner, you have to understand chess. Sometimes you can anticipate the move of your enemy before your enemy makes that move. And you have an emotional president in the United States. So this is a good recipe for a big disaster. This is chess playing itself. You don't need to make some critical moves. Thank you. The information that Benjamin Netanyahu has been hit, we are hearing that he's very, very close. But I don't want to jump on it right now because we need to have an overwhelming confirmation. Now let's continue. The United States will put boots on the ground, not because they have all the preparation to have a condition for boots on the ground, but because it is getting to a point to sustain This high intensity conflict, they need to distract Iran by putting boots on the ground. Because you have, when it comes to a point where you don't have the cards anymore, you will have to play what you have. Yes, when you meet an opponent, it wasn't at the broadcast, thank you, and it's always there. When you meet an opponent that is better than you, when that opponent is outfoxing and out chasing you, it comes to a point you have to go back to your fundamental. Your brain is already reset. You will now go back to what God created you to do. 1, 2, like there's nothing you can do anymore. So America will put those boots on the ground. So it's either you start resigning or you go a war or you come to Iran and get that work. 72 virgin is guaranteed. 72 virgin is guaranteed. I will promise you this. Except Donald Trump swallows the defeat. A lot of people are looking at this because they're looking at it from the perspective of US bombing civilians. It's not about bombing civilians. It's about accomplishing your military, you know, target. I've said this earlier. You can see the statistics in the public domain that the United States is bombing hospitals, they are bombing civilians. Go and look at the bombing in Lebanon. That has nothing, right, to do with military goals. So you can see what they did in the UAE. According to the Iranians, they launched the IMAS system, right? The IMAS capability. They used it to launch that missile from a civilian settlement. Highly, that place was densely populated. So that if there was going to be a counter offensive, it was going to lead to serious civilian casualty. That's what they're trying to condition. They're trying to condition Iran to play their game. But according to the information, Iran said we are not going to play your we are not going to play your game. It's not easy to put boots on the ground. That is what I'm saying. It's not easy. It's almost impossible because the conditions are not right for a boot on the ground. But you see those boots, if you have boots in America right now and you're a uniform person, that your boots will be forced to enter the Middle East. You can see that they've sent 2,500 US Marine from the 82nd, I think 82nd Brigade, right? They're going to send more. Those boots are going to stomp on that Iranian soil. It's going to come in like this, it's going to go out like this, if you know what it means. Because it comes to a point, you don't have the cards, you don't have the game-changing cards, but you have to play what you have. Because when it gets to that hour of regret, where the interceptors are undeniably gone, Iran knows this. If you know how to analyze, warfare, you know that this is definitely going to happen. Israel don't have the natural resources. They don't have it. They depend on the United States. So if the US, right, if they have to depend on China, and let's even say China gives them the refined rare earth capability they need to manufacture this, are you aware that it's still going to take time to manufacture this equipment? It takes time. A lot of people have made orders. Your F-35 fighter jets, they need these rare earth metals, these magnets, for the radars, for many things. For the durability of some of the, APCs, tankers, Bradleys, and everything, they need for those metals to be very, very strong and, attack resistant, right? They need these rare earth metals, right? And it takes time for production. And, the question is Iran going to wait for you to produce new ones? That's the question we must answer. So, but because of shame and because of arrogance, they will have to fight this war. And because they have to fight this war continuously, and they don't want to lose reputation and face, they will have to send boots on the ground at a point. So, That is a significant aspect of this war that a lot of people are not looking at. And that is why the interception rate in Tel Aviv has dropped completely. It is because the third radar system is still there. Probably it has been, partially repaired. But without these materials, right, you can't repair it completely. You can't. See, a proper radar system, this is how it works. Apart from the transmission of frequencies of messages, right, to the sea-based receiver or the air-based receiver, there is a way it picks frequency. There is a way it picks that frequency. So when you damage it, it's like punching you in the eye. I have my eyes very clear now. I know where the camera is. Or in a fight, my eyes have not been compromised. The eyes is the main defense. You can have all the interceptors, but if you don't have a good eyes, then your defense is gone because you can't see what is coming, and it's what you can't see that knocks you out. You can see that the number of successful hits from Iran right now is becoming unprecedented. So now, because the radars have been compromised, Israel knows that something is coming. Can you imagine? Iran gave a standing order that everybody should evacuate. I don't know the name of that region. They said they should pass through the RN4 route, that they should not pass any other place. Go through the RN4 route and leave. They are giving people in Israel evacuation notice. And you will ask one question, and they should enter the bunkers. Are you aware that the Quran shall fall destroys bunkers? Are you aware that the Quran, go and look at the Ben Gurion airport, filled to the brim, everybody wants to leave. The Quran shall fall. Look at the go and just type on X or any platform. Impact of the sub-munitions of the Quran shall fall. Go and look at the damage that can be caused by one of those sub-munitions. So the main Quran shall fall is an hypersonic glide vehicle, meaning it cannot be intercepted. Forget it, it cannot. At the re-entry phase, it cannot be intercepted. Extremely dangerous, hypersonic speed. So at this pace, Israel cannot continue to take the battery. But we've come to a point, and we are going to a point where the battery will continue. Imagine if you have a good eye, your eyes is very, very clear. You cannot stop speed. You cannot still stop speed. Now imagine when the eyes is compromised and hypersonic capabilities are coming. You can't even get the frequency properly. You can't calculate the speed because the radars are bad. Now it is not only the fact that the radars are bad. People are now giving the Iranian IRGC, Area Aerospace Command, they're now giving them locations of some, strategic weapons inside Israel, the stockpile of some ammunition. Are you not aware of this? It is because they have lost the political contest of this conflict. Because you have to win politically. Iran knows the essence of winning political, they understand why they should politically win on the narrative front. Because they politically won, because you cannot convince anybody anymore that Israel is fighting against Iran because Iran was a threat. No, you attacked them first. And you were in the midst of a negotiation. So your negotiation was a trap. The fact that US got themselves involved in this is a complete embarrassment. And they've lost credibility. And because they got themselves involved, because they were easily compromised by Israel in this conflict, it will now make people to double down on the bet of the multipolar world for proper check and balancing, because absolute power corrupts absolutely. With this type of situation, knowing that the agenda of Israel is to continue to grab people's land. And you, the United States, you are supporting them. It has now created very, very bad chain of eventuality, because after this conflict, everybody wants to have a nuke, because that is the only way you can guarantee a mutual destruction. It's a guaranteed mutual destruction. And you don't need to have 10,000 nukes to guarantee a mutual destruction. Just carry enough hypersonic, just get the hypersonic technology, get enough kilogram. In fact, you don't need more than 30 nuclear bomb to paralyze a country. Yes, you don't need more than 30. How many states do you have in the United States of America? Is every state in the United States, is it a military state? Like, do they have strategic capabilities in every state? There are some critical. That's why the capital of every country is always attacked massively. Paralyzing a country like Nigeria, you need to knock out 4 states. 4. Number 1, Lagos. Lagos is number 1. Number 2, Abuja. Number 3, you need to knock out Kaduna. Number 4, maybe you need to hit Zaria. You are the country is done. Militarily is done. So when they talk about destroying a country militarily, it's not about dropping a nuclear bomb that eradicates everything. No, you need to destroy the economically important states. You knock out the militarily important. You put them on a chokehold, destroy the power grid, and before you know, you've submissioned the country even before they realize it. So this whole nuclear apocalypse conversation is not like decapitating the entire country. No, it's about taking away the critical component of that country. Then the next thing is everybody prepare for slave trade. Yes. So if Iran can even if it's that 16 nuclear weapon, Israel will not be able to mess up anymore. What's the surface area of that Israeli territory? It's very small. So you have limited opportunity to dock. And in a situation where you drop about 1 ton of nuclear, you know what will happen. So now we are hearing this conversation that Israel might deploy a tactical nuke. A tactical nuke. All these things, they are threats. They are threats, yes. And the reason for that threat is because everybody is scared now. You are not getting the real information of the Israeli situation. I believe if you are getting the real information, now they are consulting Zelensky. Zelensky of all elements. Yes, Israel is currently, they are currently talking to Zelensky to send interceptors, drone interceptors. Whereas we know that what Iran is sending to Israel is not even drones. Iran is sending drones to Bahrain, to Qatar, to Kuwait, to Jordan. What they are sending to Israel is the real missile. So now let me tell you something about Zelensky.
You have intelligence or any information about this report that the Russians are providing Iran with intelligence, specifically providing Iran with intelligence on where American troops are, where American assets are, so that the Iranians can strike and kill Americans. First of all, Russia gave drones already. The Shaheeds, they are using Iranian licenses, that they built and produced a lot of drones. They gave that. I have 100% facts that that Iranian regime used against American uh, bases and against some Middle East, Middle East neighbors of Iran. They used these drones. We saw intelligence shared with us some details, and it was Russian details in these Iranian drones. This is the first. And the second point is my intelligence told me next that that they think that they share information, intelligence with the Iranian regime. They help them. And also, my intelligence told me that they said if Europe and the United States can help Ukraine with intelligence in this war, it means that Russia can help Iranian regime. This is their point of view. They saw this effect, and you see that it's not a big secret.
So now they are they've now stooped so low to the point that they are asking for the opinion of a war criminal like Volodymyr Zelensky to come and give them what it is his own opinion, his own two they want the Volodymyr Zelensky to come and give them his own two piece, two granules about what is going on in the Middle East. Now Zelensky too is talking like someone that has some credibility. Can you imagine when it comes to a point where Zelensky have to sit down and you are finished? You are finished. Do you know what this means? Zelensky is now sitting down and talking about what is going on. Like what intelligence does Zelensky have? In that case, it was like my own intelligence. What intelligence? I know Zelensky is a Jew. I know. Now the IRGC says wave 51. Wave 51. Now, but Donald Trump said they've destroyed the Iranian offensive capability 100%. He said 100%. Don't forget. Apart from the complete obliteration, he talked about he said about the Natanz, the Isfahan, and the Fordo. Now he's saying 100% destruction, right? But Iran says that wave 51 with ballistic missile, with Prince. Wait, let me read it very well. IRGC says wave 51 targeted with ballistic missiles the Prince Sultan Air Base, which hosts US tankers, early warning aircraft, F-35, F-16 fighter jets. The origin of the attack against the Islamic homeland. Interesting development again. Here they affirm that Saudi Arabia allows its lands to be used to launch attack against Iran. Now we are receiving information from US officials. According to information, US official told Semaphore, Israel is running critically low on interceptors as Iran war grinds on. Israel long-range defense system is strained and cluster munitions are making it worse, US official told Semaphore. US says it expected this, but now faces its own dilemma. Share interceptors and drain US stocks or watch Israel defenses thin out. I said if I think about some days ago I said that it looks as if Israel RO3 is done. That is why you are not seeing any exo-atmospheric interception again. That loud ball you see outside, there is this exo-atmospheric interception, right? It's not happening anymore. We are no longer seeing the interception from a very long distance. What we are seeing now is the low altitude. That means the only thing that Israel has left is the Iron Dome. So probably the David Sling and the Arrow 3 is down. And those are the important ones. Yes, the most important ones are done. Will the US be able? That's why US had to go to South Korea to go and pack everything they have that is somehow defensive by nature. They pack everything, even basket, nylon, the kitchen sink, everything. They removed it from South Korea, and immediately Kim Jong-un started testing ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. We have some very, very interesting information. Now, according to US officials, Israel is running critically low on interceptor. Now, this is no longer funny. Everybody knows now. Now, Donald Trump is speaking. Donald Trump said yet again, an intentionally misleading headline by the fake news media about 5 tanker planes that were supposedly struck down at an airport in Saudi Arabia. Yes, 5 refueling tankers were destroyed. But Donald Trump is trying to do, he's trying to, launch another propaganda, because this is one of the presidents that spends most of his time on the internet. So he said the base was hit a few days ago. So he's telling you that the base was hit, but the planes were not struck or destroyed. Now look at Donald Trump's statement critically. He said the base was hit a few days ago, but the planes were not struck or destroyed. Now let's go forward. He said 4 of the 5 had virtually no damage. Okay, virtually no damage, and are already back in service. One had slightly more damage. So what are you saying? Like, look at this man, right? Donald Trump is saying nothing was, the tankers were not destroyed. Now he said one of the tankers had slightly more damage, but will be in the air shortly. So if he's saying one had slightly more damage, does it mean that the rest had some damage? This guy is he's not just a liar, he's a dangerous liar. Donald Trump is a dangerous human being. Like, I have not seen this type of human before. Now, will be in the air shortly. None were destroyed or close to that, as the fake news said in the headline. The New York Times and the Wall Street Journal in particular, and other low-life papers and media actually want us to lose the war. Their terrible reporting is the exact opposite of the actual facts. They are truly sick and demented people that have no idea the damage they cause the United States of America. Fortunately, yeah. I'm going to get to this information. Fortunately, as proven by our great and conclusive election win in 2024, the people of our country understand that what is happening far better. They understand what is happening far better than the fake news media propaganda. President Donald Trump. Hi. How did Donald Trump type? How did he type this? How? The American president. If this man is your president, you are in trouble. If this man is your president, like, you are in a very serious trouble. What? So now he said the United States of America has beaten and completely decimated Iran. Come on now. Who is this? That's why I said, you see Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. If you want a good sanity for yourself, let these people do their thing. Just stop listening to them. He said the United States of America has beaten and completely decimated Iran, both militarily, economically, and in every other way. But the countries of the world that receive oil through the Strait of Hormuz must take care of that passage. And we will help a lot. The US will also coordinate with those countries so that everything goes quickly and smoothly and well. This should have always been a team effort, and now it will be. It will bring the world together towards harmony, security, and everlasting peace. Donald Trump. See, this is a lie. The devil has failed. You know this Christian thing where they say the devil is a liar, right? Donald Trump is saying that some tankers, some countries are now going through the Strait of Hormuz. So fact check, the last time the United States tried to cross the Strait of Hormuz, their tankers were completely destroyed. I don't even think that tanker got close to the Strait. Completely destroyed. So that was the man that is telling everybody to go through the Strait of Hormuz. The people that are going through the Strait of Hormuz right now, they are taking permission from Iran. Now let me tell you the new information. According to what we are hearing, it said Iran has said that anybody buying oil in Chinese yuan will now go through the Strait of Hormuz. If you are buying your oil in Chinese yuan, not the petrodollar, yes, only paid in yuan, yes. That is, Iran is letting everybody understand that the multipolar world has come to stay. So when the US run low on interceptor, I'm going to ask again, is China going to sell those critical rare earth materials to them? Now, MB Galibaf said something. Radars, batteries, refueling tankers, military bases, and drones destroyed. So what do you think Tele General X says? Obviously, the best strategy now is to throw the infantry into the meat grinder. I said this is going to happen. I have said it that it's going to happen. This is one of the Iranian general, okay? He said radars, batteries, refueling tankers, military drones, and military bases and drones, right? So what do you think Tele General X says? Obviously, the best strategy now is to throw infantry into the meat grinder. They are sending poor boys to fix what general broke, right? Go and die for Israel. That is what they are saying. I like looking at it carefully. Looking at it carefully. Now that the refueling tankers have been destroyed, the simple calculus is that at some point they will have to throw those infantries to Iran. So let's see what happens at that point. I might be wrong. Those infantries might end up defeating Iran. We don't know. So I'm going to leave that to public opinion. If those in movies, right? The United States won every war. In movies, in Hollywood, they are the greatest military on the planet. So we will find out in Iran if they are truly what they say they are. Those, you know, the most dangerous part of the most offensive. There is this appellation they normally give themselves. So we'll find out in Iran. This is 2026. So it's find out season. So we're going to find out. So now, the family of the US soldier that was killed in refueling plane crash in Iraq, raising funds on GoFundMe, according to CNN. His families are now raising funds on GoFundMe. This only means that all these boys that they are sending, right, to go and die for Israel, they are not even properly taken care of. You go to Israel, you die, but you have a family, you have little kids. The funny thing is, dying for Israel, does it mean you are dying for the United States? Does it mean you are patriotic to the United States? Going to the Middle East to die for an expansionist agenda. Do you know how terrible that is? Well, I hope the GoFundMe would, maybe they can get enough funds. I don't know why they need a GoFundMe. The United States should be able to take care of them. So, Netanyahu, Zelensky to talk drone cooperation next week. Because by next week, the defenses should be on a very critically low, point. So, according to the Turkish foreign minister, Fidan, he said, as long as Netanyahu is there, Israel will always identify someone as an enemy. That's what he's saying. Okay? According to information by Emmanuel Mani Fabian, this is one of the Israeli operatives. He said, an Israeli Air Force fighter jet was almost shot down over Iran amid the war. The military says, according to the IDF, an attempt was made to shoot down the jet and it was close to being hit. The attempted interception of the plane failed due to alertness and professionalism of the pilots. The military says, adding that the sortie was completed successfully. The incident was investigated by the Israeli Air Force and lessons were learned. The military adds. That is to tell you that they don't have complete control over the Iranian sky, like Pete Exet will always tell you. Now here is another airstrike, right, on the occupied territory of Palestine, the places that Israel has turned to their own. Iran is now telling them to evacuate those places now. And they are not speaking, they are not communicating with them verbally. They are communicating with missiles and drones. So we are now learning that leave that place is no longer by it's no longer verbal. So once the drones are coming, these are the drones. So you see, we are here. Look at Zelensky. Zelensky said that those drones were supplied by Russia. That is very, very. That is very. I don't know what I can say about that. Very, very terrible. To say that the drones that Iran, the origin of this drone, right? Yeah, I'm going to fix it. To say that the drones, right, are being supplied by Israel is very, very bad. Yes. How will Israel supply the drones? How is it possible? How is Israel going to supply the drones? How is Russia going to be supplying the drones? Now, when this is where you know that Zelensky is lying. Russia is no longer using propeller, they are no longer using the propeller type of drone. Russia has turned their drone to a cruise missile because now the drones of Russia is being powered by jet engines. It's no longer by this ordinary. The Russian Garand, I think Garand 3, does not make this type of noise. So this whole conversation of Zelensky, we don't understand. So now, Governor Gavin Newsom said no amount of spin from Trump and his lackeys can cover up the fact that Americans shelled out an extra 1.5 billion for gas this past weekend because of his disastrous war with Iran. Netanyahu led Trump into this horrific and unpopular war. Now he doesn't know how to get out. Bernie Sanders said 1,200 plus Iranian civilians killed, 13 US troops killed, 3.2 million Iranians displaced, 16.5 billion spent in 12 days. So let me just be honest. I don't believe that 13 US operatives have been killed. I believe the statistics is more than that. Yes. Now, Turkey is saying that Israel wants a new genocide in Lebanon.
İsrail Lübnan'da yeniden İsrail bir felaketi ve kaosu bir siyasi siyasal sürdürerek İsrail'de.
They are saying that Israel wants a new genocide in Lebanon. Go and look at the strike in Lebanon. It's complete genocide. Complete genocide. Look at what Israel did in Gaza. Look at. It's like an human prison. They are shooting at those people that are coming to pick up aid. And when you speak against these people, they say you are anti-Semites. So we've actually dropped the video on our Telegram. These people are treating the people in Gaza like animals. And go and watch the video on our Telegram. Go and look at what they are doing in Gaza. The same thing they want to do in Lebanon. So tell me, how is this? How is this a military target in Lebanon? How is this a military target? These are civilian buildings. Look at the front. Look at the front. Oh my goodness. So, anybody is still coming out to say that, look at, Israel kills 12 healthcare workers in Lebanon, according to The Guardian. 12 healthcare workers. We know what they did in Gaza. So if you are supporting this old nonsense right now, you are even a dangerous human being, and probably you should pick your rifle and go and join those that are going to put their boots on the ground in Iran, because we need your boots there so that you can actually give your support. They need everybody they can get, right? They need every boot they can get. So it will be very, instead of you to come and start trolling on the internet, we need your boots in Gaza. Go and support the chosen people to defend that land that God has promised them. So if you know you love them so much, go and get some boots and apply. They need a lot of boots. And 72 virgins will not be enough for you all. You will need more than 7. In fact, we are going to give you 80 virgins. So now we are hearing there's an information that the wife of the Iranian supreme leader, the late Iranian supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei, we are hearing that his wife is still alive. I don't know how credible that is. Now this guy's account has been banned.
All we need is a few missiles, and we can wipe out the entire Israeli electrical grid. This is the Rotenberg power station. It's coal-powered in Ashkelon, Israel. Here's the largest solar plant in the entire country, Ashkelon Power Station. They removed this from the maps, but this is the power station that generates electricity for Tel Aviv. This port right here in Ashkelon brings petroleum and oil to Israel. All we need is one little drum that'll go boom. Well, if you're curious about Intel computer chips, all you gotta do is blow up this factory right here. By the way, yet again in Tel Aviv, this is gas in the oil containers. All you need is one drone and all of it should go kaboom. By the way, this is Shalom Flowers, the western Negev desert. Up a coordinates should blow this up. Let's just act on. This is the Haram Rabin power station. This is a really big one, so make sure to put the coordinates in and let's have some fun. Last video, man, shout out Iranians. You guys went over north of Jerusalem, like I said, and came south of Tel Aviv. And hit apparently when I told you to, so I really appreciate it. And we're going to follow up, share, and tag the Iranians so we can continue to do
They banned him immediately. They suspended him, right? You see, the reason why you have ordinary citizens supporting Israel, like supporting Iran like this, is because I told you the political narrative of this conflict has been lost. Right? They've lost politically. They've lost. Like I've said it from probably the second day of this conflict. I said Iran should take out the power grid completely. Take out the power grid. I don't know. I think Iran wants to be politically correct. When you are going through the ladder of escalation, you play along with your enemy. You know, you play along with the enemy. And when you destroy the power grid, it's going to sabotage a lot of things. It's going to be a chain of chaos. I'm telling you. So I don't know why, we're still seeing electricity in Israel. It's so unfortunate. Keep them in darkness so that a lot of the only electricity they are going to have is that light that is going to be behind those missiles so that they can see clearly. At least they will be able, since the radars are no longer working, people will be able to run and they will be able to probably dodge the hypersonic missiles, right? So this allowing them to have electricity, I don't understand. So Abbas Arakchi said the US security umbrella are proven to be full of holes and inviting rather than deterring trouble. US is now begging others, even China, to help it make Strait of Hormuz safe. Iran calls on brotherly neighbors to expel foreign aggressors, especially as their concern is Israel. Now, this is the US soldier that have been killed. New York Post. Youngest US soldier killed by Iranian strike was an Eagle Scout who helped homeless youth. Why they are releasing this information right now is to kind of sway public sympathy in their direction. Helping jobless youth, my foot. If the Iraqis are calling the US forces occupation, they are calling them occupation forces. Are they helping the jobless youths, or they want to occupy the territories of another country. Now let me play this video for you. These are the comments of Abbas Araghchi about regime change.
I think by now it should have been clear and it should have been known for everybody that our system is very well rooted in the society. The Islamic Republic is a system which is not dependent on any individual or any group of people. It is well established. It's a very well established political structure, and the state is doing its functions, is functioning, and everything is in place. So they shouldn't have any hope for anything happen to the individuals. The system is working. It works properly after the assassination of the and martyrdom of our supreme leader. You saw that nothing happened and everything remained in order, and still everything is under control.
So let me give you another information, right? Donald Trump said many countries, especially those who are affected by Iran's attempted closure of the Strait of Hormuz, will be sending warships in conjunction with the United States of America. This is Donald Trump giving orders, right? To keep the Strait of Hormuz open and safe. We have already destroyed 100% of Iran's military capability. So why do you need other countries if you've already destroyed 100% of Iranian military capability? But it's easy for them to send a drone or two, drop a mine or deliver a close-range missile somewhere along or in this waterway, no matter how badly defeated they are. So Donald Trump, I don't know if this is confusion or what. You say you've destroyed their capabilities 100%, right? You've destroyed it, and according to him, they no longer, it's not, the Iranian airspace is no longer a contest. Domination. That was what the Trump said. So why are you now saying that they are badly defeated, and at the same time you are saying that they can shoot ballistic missile or drones or mine or whatever, right? So he said, hopefully China. Can you imagine? He's calling China. Hopefully China, France, Japan, South Korea, and the UK and others. Who are those others? Probably Ghana. Probably Ghana, right? It is the one they did not send Ghana. And Ghana will go and put their mouth. Probably Ghana that are affected by these artificial constraints will send ships to the area so that the Hormuz Strait will no longer be a threat by a nation that has totally been decapitated. In the meantime, the United States will be bombing the hell out of the shorelines and continually shooting Iranian boats and ships out of the water. One way or the other, we will soon get the Strait of Hormuz open and safe and free. President Donald Trump. Ah, God. This man likes war, but he doesn't understand war, honestly. But I know that he likes war. Donald Trump likes to fight, but you know. So now this is the information that we got, okay, from CNN. This is from CNN, right? This is from CNN. That according to Frederick Pletgen, right? Sources: Iran might allow oil through the Strait of Hormuz. Might allow through the Strait of Hormuz if it's paid in Chinese yuan. That's what they are saying. That if it's paid, it might. So it's not a confirmed information, right? But according to CNN, Iran might allow passage of tankers if it's paid in Chinese yuan. I don't know how credible that information is, but that's what CNN is reporting. Now, according to Abbas Araghchi, right? He said the new supreme leader is okay.
We know that Iran has elected a new supreme leader, Mustafa Khamenei. He has not been seen yet in public, though he did issue a statement yesterday
I'm sure you have heard the comments from the U.S. Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, who has said that he claimed the Supreme Leader is wounded and likely disfigured. What is the status of the Supreme Leader, Mustafa Khamenei?
Well, they have made so many claims like this. Uh, Yesterday they said that all Iranian authorities are in the bunkers, but at the same time, the whole world saw our president, the Speaker of Parliament, everybody, the Secretary of our National Security Council, everybody was in the streets among the people who demonstrated. So there are lots of accusations like that. They will see soon, I guess, that there is no problem with the new supreme leader. He sent his message yesterday, and he will perform his duties. He is performing his duties according to the constitution, and he will continue to do that. I think by now it should have been clear, and it should have been known for everybody that our system is very well rooted in the society. The Islamic Republic is a system which is not dependent on any individual or any group of people. But Russia and China
So this is another question.
our strategic partners, and we have had close cooperation in the past, which is still continues, and that includes military cooperation as well. Uh, I'm not going into any details of that. A good cooperation with these countries, uh, politically, economically, even militarily. How is it possible that the Security Council condemned us for defending ourselves and is not condemning the United States and Israel who started this aggression? So if they want to have a just, full decision or resolution which can work, they should consider all aspects of any event. We are on the attack. It was the United States and Israel who started this war. They deserve to be condemned, not us.
But I think Iran is not up to speed. Yeah. Um, I think um, I think Iran is late. I think Iran is not up to speed. Iran should understand by now that all this United Nations, ICC, um, all these so-called organizations are they are designed to protect the interests of the Western Alliance. None of this organization was created to protect the interest of the free world. No. So Iran should expect condemnation from the UN Security Council and whatsoever. These are not fair alliances. These are partial organizations. These are terrible establishments. So we in Africa we know the extent of how failed these organizations are. Now Iran is experiencing the aggression of this setup firsthand. But I know that people in Africa they are very, very well aware of this. You know how bad these useless organizations are. So I think in this conflict, Iran is not supposed to look at Iran is not supposed to look at what the UN is saying. Yes, they are trying to support their masters. So now, according to Iranian General Mohsen Rezai, he provides the term to end the conflict. He said reparations to cover all damage caused by the bombing. And again, he said the US bases must leave the Gulf states completely. So if they are going to leave, we don't know, but um, that's what they are now saying now. So Iran continues to launch. Iran continues to launch. Iran continues to launch. So if they like, they should go and beg Zelensky, right? They should go and beg. They should go and beg Zelensky to come and assist them. So maybe he assists them with intercept. See, the only reason why they are asking for all this is because they can no longer deny the embarrassment anymore. You know, it comes to a point where you cannot even deny yourself of whatever embarrassment. You have to prepare and you have to take that embarrassment with your full chest. So that's where we are right now. And you know, right now, I think the situation is still manageable. But it will come to a point where what you will experience is a total collapse. Okay? I think the God is censoring your channel. Absolutely. You know, because a lot of people don't understand that information is a form of warfare. You know, that's what we've understood. That information is a form of warfare. Most of this Western channel, I don't know what they say about your country, but in Africa, you will understand that all Western media, they are some form of deep state agencies. So, you know, when you have a platform that is critically exposing their agenda, that makes them look bad. If the president of the US can be saying that some medias, they are lying, they are doing this and that about them, you should know that this is very, very serious. And the last time I checked, Benjamin Netanyahu said the new war will not be won on the line of contact. He said it will be won on the social media. So you should definitely know. But the funny thing is, when I started journalism, right? And in the name of fairness, I speak for both sides, right? I used to have, you know, my views used to be unbelievable. You know, all these critics that jump into the channel and talk, they used to support me. Yeah, that was where it all started. And I used to have a lot of views, you know, but you get to a point where you have to realize that you come to realize that journalism is not what you just think. It's beyond that. You know, it's beyond that. It's a way of manufacturing a lot of things. And it's a way of mentally manipulating people to either cause regime change, destabilize people, create separation. But like I said, we, the Republic of the Free, we are backing Iran fully in this conflict. Completely backing Iran. And don't forget, Iran has a military cooperation with Burkina Faso. So if you are thinking that I am biased, you can continue to believe that I'm biased, okay? Um, it's okay. You can believe what you want to believe. But as long as we have a military cooperation with Iran, you know, we are fully supporting Iran all the way. But if the US is getting some clear military or strategic victory, we are going to talk about it too. You know, because I'm somebody that likes strategy, I learn from it. You know, but what I can guarantee you is that the US and Israel right now, they no longer have a very clear military objective. What they are destroying right now are not military targets. What they are destroying are civilians. Yes. Whatever kill the US come out of this conflict, any US personnel that tell you that, oh, I have so confirmed kill in Iran is a lie. What they are deleting are civilians. They are not deleting military personnel. So you know, when you hear all these US Marine, you hear I have so tour in Afghanistan, I have so tour in Iran, I have so tour in Libya, I have so confirmed kills. The confirmed kill in Iran are civilians, women and children. So when this war will be, when it will be concluded, everybody would have come to terms with the fact that Americans only came to save the Iranians by killing women and children. So when America is telling you that they are coming to save you, just know you are about to lose wives, you are about to lose fathers, you are about to lose mothers, you are about to lose friends, you are about to lose nephews, you are about to lose cousins, you are about to lose probably yourself that you are calling them to come. Remember the Tomahawk missile they dropped in Nigeria. Some of these Tomahawk missile entered people's apartments. Some of these Tomahawk missile entered people's apartments that are working class, that are not terrorists. So we stand with the resistance. Always. We are with the resistance all day, every day, all day long. 10 times a week and twice on Sunday. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this point, I want to bid you all farewell and long live the resistance. When an empire is about to fall, a lot of resistance will start rising. Before the Roman Empire fall, before the Roman Empire fell, right? This was how it started. Now we are having another campaign. This is going to be the end of Pact America. You can see it is very clear. I did not believe it was going to happen with Iran, right? I did not know. You can see that the empire is falling. It's very, very clear, right? It's very, very clear. I was thinking it will probably be with Russia or China, but the way history happens, right? History come back to play in a very unexpected, in a very, very shocking form. And the shock right now is that as we are looking at China, Russia, and North Korea, it didn't happen. It happened with Iran. Every huge country, every empire did not fall because another superior country defeated them. It's just some very, insignificant country that defeats, that would land the crushing blow, and that will be the end. So right now that Iran is doing it, congratulations to Iran. I'm congratulating them in advance. Okay, I'll see you all tomorrow with more information on the conflict. Thank you, and God bless you. And I will take up the mic. I will take the mic. I will check the mic, and I'll communicate with everyone on Telegram. Thank you, and God bless you. So yeah, I was in the hospital today, right? Because I noticed something. I noticed that at some point, um, my thoughts, I can't string it together well, right? And this is not me. So let me explain these aspects to you, right? I discovered that, so the doctor told me from their assessments, they told me that this is happening because I don't have enough sleep, I don't rest enough. So this is not my, like, social media is not where I live. I work in the hospital, I'm a medical professional. I come back, I give updates. Sometimes when I'm free, I update. If I'm not on you find me on Telegram, or I'm attending to patients and I'm busy in the hospital. So this round the clock schedule is what brought me to this point. So sometimes you see that everything is going smoothly, and sometimes you see that I can't even pronounce things correctly, right? It is because of the mental fatigue. So you can just manage for some time, okay? I'll be fine. I'll start resting and I'll change my schedule right now. They are the new God of War. Thank you, brother. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.